It's essentially a two-part program that helps people build resiliency based on some very fundamental principles. One is really clear knowledge about what is trauma and how do people get traumatized, and also how do you manage trauma symptoms. And then the second phase is actually choosing specific targets that people want to work on and using the tools and the skills that we give them in the first phase to actually work through and learn how to work through a specific trauma that they choose for themselves.
What this program is really trying to do ultimately is to combat some of the stigma and social isolation that is inherent in PTSD and in trauma. And so what we want to encourage people to do is to be able to begin to talk about this stuff and to know that it's normal to have responses after traumatic events and that they're not alone.
Resiliency is a result of what you do after exposure rather than just being able to be exposed all the time and exposure to terrible things like what first responders and military and veterans have had to do. So resiliency is being able to recognize when you've been affected so that you can deal with the effects before they become a really serious problem. This is specifically for military veterans and first responders and people in those populations who've actually been exposed to traumatic events and are dealing with the negative post-traumatic effects of having been exposed to those things.
The groups are mixed with both, and we've had great response from both parties and a ton of mutual respect between both the veterans and the first responders who are on the program.
When you've been exposed to really horrific things, you're changed by them. So there's no cure for being changed by terrible things. The idea is, how do you take that and then find your way through it so that it doesn't trap you in that place? Usually we talk about trauma is your memories have you. Healing from trauma is the process of you having the memories. Like, who's in control? And that's really what it becomes is every day and every year working to have the memories and not have them take control over your life.